So I got 5 more tropes in modern black entertainment that need to stop. Let's go. What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the real Super Mario. Check out the main channel because the main channel is popping, aka the Loot Box Hero, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. All right, so we have some interesting stuff to talk about today. We have more tropes that need to stop. But first thing, I just want to thank everybody that watched the last trope video. Like the last time, it was just kind of a quick thing that I had came up with that I thought would be cool. I did not know that almost 20-something thousand people would also think it was cool. So thank you for supporting that video and supporting the channel. So, you know, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep this rolling. Before I get into this too, this isn't really more like hard rules for you to write.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
You know, your stories with as black creators. If you have a trope or something that you like and you feel like you can write a good story with it, go for it. I'm just saying that I think I see this trope a lot and I think it should kind of stop. But if you like it, then write it. All right, I'm not telling you, oh, you can't write your character like that. No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you got like a story, you know what I'm saying, that your main character is a millennial black lady with lightning powers and her friend is a nerdy black man and your mentor is a commander lady, then by all means write that story. All right, you might have the best version of that story that's ever happened. So it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But let's get on into this though.
He's running, grab him!
The effeminate black male character design. Oh boy, this is a trope that's been going on for a little bit, but it's really kind of blowing up now. All right, now back in the day, a trope like this was kind of like, you know, a trope like this would be more like putting black men in dresses and having black men like play these cross-dresser characters or whatever, you know, your Big Mama, you know what I'm saying, Tyler Perry, Madea type of stuff. Now it's gone to, let's design a male black man character, but then make them as effeminate as possible. And I feel like it's in the same vein as the ineffective nerd character, where they're trying to find a different way to create black characters that's not what they think is stereotypical. All right, so of course they think the stereotypical black character is like the black macho masculine character, so they want to create something completely different. So they go with this more feminine approach, and it's kind of tiring. All right, I'm a little tired of it at this point. Like every time there's a new black character, it's either a you know, feminine black dude or just straight up a black lady. All right, and it's one of those things where you know, it's kind of hurting black characters in general, because it just brings a lot of negativity to that character. Like, I haven't seen the new Spider-Man show, but I've heard nothing but good things. But the first thing we saw from it was this dude.
Man, anything happens, you can outrun him. Hope I see you around, Peter.
What in tarnation did he wear?
I don't know. Do you think he's...
On the train to F***ville? Absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And guess what? Everybody and their mama was taking shots at this show because of this dude. So I think that the trope kind of needs to stop. All right. Now there's one exception to this trope, and somebody mentioned this in the comments. All right. When I was editing this video, somebody mentioned Parnell.
Parnell! Jump, Parsley.
How did you know you'd bounce?
I didn't. But in general, I don't believe in oblivion.
Now, if you don't know who Parnell is the kind of one of the side characters from High Guardian Spice. You know, that terrible Crunchyroll original, not anime that they made a couple years ago. I did a whole review of it on my main channel if you want to check it out. But yeah, so that character is kind of an effeminately designed black character, right? But they did it on purpose though. And it's not for the purpose that they usually do it. So usually the characters are designed this way because they want to avoid stereotypes, or they just want to make their like ideal, non-threatening, you know, not masculine black dude. But they designed Parnell like this on purpose because they wanted to kind of subvert expectations. He looks all soft, you know what I'm saying, and like unthreatening, but he's actually very capable of a character. And actually can kind of, you know, he can kind of put the work in. You know, he's not an inept character. All right, he's not a non-threatening character. He just looks that way. So if you wanted to do something like that, that kind of works because you designed him like this for a reason. Most characters are not like Parnell though. Most of them are just designed effeminately just for the sake of it, or either they're trying to do the whole escaping stereotypes and all that kind of bit. So be like Parnell, you know what I'm saying, if you want to do this. You don't have to draw outside the lines when it comes to making a black character or a black male character. Just make a guy who is black and he has interesting interests or powers. That's all you have to do.
Know my name, know my fame, don't be lame. 8 tails, that's me, the rap killer beat. Tail beats resides inside my hide, making beats and rhymes, and I'm making them live.
So this one might get me into some trouble. All right, this one might be the controversial pick of the video, and that's black people and rap. Now, originally, I actually saw this in the comments of the last video, and people were like, "Oh, well, you know, I think you should talk about black people that communicate through rap." And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I actually like Killer B though. Killer B is like one of my favorite characters in Naruto. Even though I did just think about the fact that, you know, Killer B is a black dude that communicates through rap that comes from a village of Electro Negroes. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into the whole Electro Negro thing at some point because it's something there. All right, there's smoke and there's probably fire, and it was probably caused by an Electro Negro. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this story a little bit deeper, but I vaguely remember it's kind of got something to do with copyrights and like old comic book characters, but that might be a video in itself. But as far as like Killer B is concerned in this video, I was gonna do that whole like black people that talk with rap thing. But then I thought like, well, I think in general, connecting rap to black people is kind of a trope in itself. All right, because if you look at like Assassin's Creed Shadows, one of the big controversies with that game is the fact that they had a hip hop track for Yasuke.
Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
I said kill him.
Brought to you by.
And I mean, if you really think about it, like, why the only reason that they're doing that is because he's black. All right, you know, because he's not like, you know, a modern black character. He has nothing to do with hip hop. Hip hop wasn't a thing back then. So why are they doing a hip hop inspired, you know, track for Yasuke? And it's because he's black. And I think this association with black and hip hop is something that we kind of need to cut back on, at least in media. Like, you don't need to make a rapper character or a character that likes rap or hip hop to make a black character. All right, and that's kind of the reason I'm making these videos in the first place. It's not, I'm not saying that you can't do that. I'm saying that you don't have to. All right, because a lot of times when you see tropes in media and you see them enough, or you see them enough times, you kind of feel like, well, if you want to tell a story like that, you have to do the things that you see because everybody else is doing them. You don't have to do that. All right, so you don't have to always associate black people with rap, because rap has evolved. I mean, look at now. There's a lot of Asian rappers. Look at
Oh, you almost had it.
How Mankind, like the guy who did this song.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business.
Look at that guy. All right, you know what I'm saying? That guy Indian. All right, look at Eric Rapide.
How would you feel if I made you on my third? I'm feeling slutty. I want a body. My level muddy.
Like, there are a lot of non-black people that are kind of blowing up in rap and hip hop right now. And then there are a lot of black people that are interested in other things. All right, because like, shoot, look at Sleep Theory. The lead singer is black, and I know a lot of black people that follow Sleep Theory for that reason, and now they're into rock music in general. So black people have kind of evolved, you know, over time, where all of us aren't following rap. Some of us still do. I still do. I listen to rap. I even listen to some of that, you know, high-end performative stuff, like, you know, your Kendricks and stuff like that, you know. So if I'm feeling performative, I want to feel a little bit woke, you know, I'll pop some Kendrick on, you know. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think the association of black people and hip hop or rap in media is something that we could at least cut back on.
Where'd you say you found her again?
This is a sick Negro.
Voodoo and black people. Oh boy, this one right here is an interesting one that I've seen develop over the last 5 years. So voodoo has always been something that has been referenced in media in accordance to black men or black people. You can go all the way back to like 007 and see references between voodoo and black people, and that was back in what, the 60s or the 70s. You know, it's been something that's happened for a while, but it's picked up a lot now, and the reason is a little bit more insidious than you kind of think. So when it comes to modern writing, all right, and the modern, like, you know, like liberal writers or what have you, they kind of associate the different religions to different races of people, right? So the Asian religions, like, you know, Buddhism, Hinduism, you know, Confucianism, whatnot, are usually associated with, you know, East Asian and South Asian characters, right? Same thing goes for Islam. It's usually associated with Arabs, even though there are billions of people who are not Arab that are Muslim. They usually just associate Islam with Arabs. Same thing with Judaism. Now, there one religion in general that doesn't really get the same treatment, and that is Christianity. Christianity is usually associated with whiteness or white people in general. All right, so of course you can't really associate something that's associated with whiteness with black characters when it comes to the liberal writing. So you have to find a religion that you can associate with black people. What is that religion?
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. You shall be saved.
Voodoo. All right, so, and it's happened a ton of times in the last 5 years. Look at again, I reference Assassin's Creed, Castlevania Nocturne had Annette. Annette's powers are based off of Ogun, the African god, but it's rooted in like voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Sinners has a voodoo lady in it. Okay, there's a voodoo priestess lady in it. Even the nominal black classic Lovecraft Country has a whole scene in it where this one chick, her house is haunted by a racist white ghost, because it's Lovecraft Country. If it's white, it's racist. And so she needs to get rid of this ghost. So what she does, instead of going to get like an exorcist, all right, because I mean, it's Southern. There's got to be a black Southern Baptist out there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to get an exorcist, she goes to get a voodoo lady, and then the voodoo lady gets no-diffed by the racist ghost. Yeah, so essentially this association is mainly due to like those kind of factors. And I think it's kind of a negative thing. It's kind of a bad trope that needs to stop, because voodoo is not necessarily a good thing, okay? All right, voodoo is always associated with the occult, is also associated with kind of evil. And why is it that we got to end up with the kind of evil religion? All right, most religions in themselves are not evil, you know what I'm saying? But voodoo, you know, sacrifices, blood, goats, spells on people. It's why we gotta get this association. All right, why can't we just end up getting associated with any religion? Why does it always have to be voodoo? You know what I'm saying? We need to end this trope.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable, something
Important?
iconic.
Shut your mouth, woman!
This one is one that I've seen a lot over the years, and it's the teen/child genius trope. Now, this one goes beyond just black people, but it also happens a lot when it comes to black characters too, specifically black female characters. All right, now Marvel has been pumping out teen geniuses for like a decade now, especially in the MCU. For some reason, everybody's kid knows how to build a daggone trans-dimensional space warp machine or some kind of antimatter distributor or something crazy like that. Like, it's kind of crazy. All right, I mean, they've kind of done it a lot, but this kind of affects black characters too. All right, you look at it like Angela Nevins, you look at the chick from Ironheart, you look at Shuri, Effie from Overwatch, Moon Girl, who was supposed to be like the smartest person in Marvel at one point. Like, they seem to keep creating like the child genius character. And while I think it's good to have like one or two of these characters if you're making a universe of characters, if you got more than like two, then it's kind of overkill. All right, because if there's like a bunch of child geniuses, then it's not special anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? What's so special about this one child genius if we got like 5 of them, you know? Not to mention the reasons why they do these tropes in the first place. It's kind of like a lot of the other tropes. It's again about fighting stereotypes, all right? So the stereotype of, you know, the black character is not being smart or not being a genius, or, you know what I'm saying? So of course, we're gonna make smart genius characters to fight that stereotype. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fine, but you don't have to do it. All right, can we stop this trope a little bit? All right, can we pump the brakes on it? You know.
So you know that I could get a selfie with your arms out?
Are you serious?
This is the trope right here that killed it. All right, this trope almost killed my love of Sam Wilson. I like Sam personally as Captain America. All right, and well, his Captain America run has been okay. All right, but I like the character of Sam Wilson. All right, I almost didn't finish Falcon and the Winter Soldier, mainly because of this scene.
I knew it, Falcon.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Oh,
I didn't want to say anything, you know?
I always wanted to be an Avenger.
Oh, man. It's a dream come true, you know?
That's amazing.
Like keeping my family's business afloat by changing to a fishing and charter model.
You know what I've always wondered? How do you guys make a living?
You mean those guys or the guys sitting in front of you trying to get a loan?
Both. I mean, your financials are all over the place. Is there some kind of fund for heroes, or did Stark pay you when he was around? My condolences, by the way.
Thank you, but no, it doesn't really work like that. There's a tremendous amount of goodwill, and because of that, people are inclined to help, which applies to the business.
Right, but you couldn't have been living off of goodwill this whole time.
I don't get what you're going for here. Are you trying to help us or indict us?
Bro, I was mad. Like, they tried to explain it like, oh, well, he was gone for 5 years, so that's why he didn't have any money. You know what I'm saying? No, this dude is a retired Air Force pilot. Now, if you know anything about the military, you know they treat the Air Force people pretty good. All right, because they're usually smart, young, and they could be astronauts at some point. So they usually treat them pretty good. You trying to tell me that this man, was so good at his job that he didn't even need a plane? They gave him wings. And this man was doing government wet work with experimental government technology, and he didn't have a nest egg. He didn't have nothing put away. He didn't have no 401k. He ain't have no bonds, nothing. He was living paycheck to paycheck doing wet work in Jalalabad with experimental government technology. No, dog. No. I ain't buying that at all. Now, I mean, that's one thing to be a superhero and not get no money from it. All right. But it's one thing to have a career before being a superhero and still not have no money. All right. No, the only reason they wrote this man like that was because he was black and they wanted to write this one stupid scene. That's what it is. Okay. They wanted to write this scene of like, oh, the bank doesn't want to give him money because he's black. No, the bank doesn't want to give him money because you wrote this scene this way. All right, that's what it is. This doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like this in real life. Okay, in real life, if people were doing the things that he was doing, they would have some money to fix their daddy's shrimp boat. Like, stop writing characters like this, bro. All right, stop trying to find ways to put black characters into oppressed situations. All right, trust me, there's enough oppression out there as it is. You don't need to invent ways to oppress black people, okay? All right, you don't need to bend the narrative over backwards so that you can write we need to write this oppressed black person scene. Like, you don't need to do that. All right, trust me, it's out there, okay? All right, but yeah, these are some tropes that I feel like need to stop. All right, if you got some tropes you think they need to stop, drop them in the comments down below. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'll be answering the comments. If you want to be like, Mario, you just an old sentient raccoon. You don't understand black storytelling, blah, blah, blah. Put that in the comments, too. It is what it is. All right, so tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, people, have yourself a good one.